Um, I'm really happy to welcome all of you in today's session. As you see our messages earlier, today's workshop is all about a practical insight how you can leverage AI and run the AI models on your own laptop. It means today you are going to learn from our expert in live session how you can leverage these AI tools directly on your laptop. And by leveraging these tools, you can build something on your laptop directly. And I'm very happy to share that, to share this knowledge with us, we have Mr. Prabhat Kumar, a renowned architect working on AI in Netherlands. And he has really brought his insights to share his knowledge with all of us. So thank you, Prabhat. With a short introduction, I leave up to you and all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Manish. Hello, everyone. My name is Pravat Kumar, and I'm gonna walk you through today with how can we run AI models on your own laptop. Let's get started. And apologies for the delay. We had some technical difficulties, but let's get started. Okay, a bit about me. As Manish explained, so I'll not repeat. I'm an architect. I'm very much focused into enterprise implementation of AI solution and attaching with education. I think this is the opportunity for every one of us to democratize the AI literacy and in general literacy with the help of AI. And I'm very passionate about making AI accessible to larger community, making it ethical and practical for everyone. So with that, I'll not make more delays. You can follow me on my LinkedIn channel. You will have more opportunities to get that info. Let's move on. So the topic for today is split in two parts. One is why local AI matters, because I assume some of you might have this question. So we'll touch upon it. And the second part will be how. Okay. And the target for this specific session is to be really simplistic. And if you do not know coding, no worries, you don't need coding. If you don't know a lot of technologies, no worries, you don't need it. We'll make sure that you follow and you understand how you can have your own chat GPT on your laptop. You heard it right. That's what we're gonna do. So let's get started. But before I do, perhaps a question for the audiences. Have you used any AI tool before? Uh, Please drop your answer in the chat. It could be yes if you are using. If never, then not yet. Thumbs down. Fired if you have tried a few times, and if you are a daily user, just put a love sign. I give just a few seconds, and then we move forward. Oh, nice. So we have some really strong people in the group with a lot of daily users, a lot of love science. So that's wonderful to see. Let's keep moving. So why running AI locally is empowering? Okay, that's a question I was asked a couple of days back as well, and it's a question that keep coming. Okay. Uh, After all, we got ChatGPT, which is moving the most faster. We got Grok, we got Gemini, and then many more, Claude. So why do we need an AI locally? After all, okay. And is it really empowering, or is it very cumbersome? We shall not do it. Okay, that's the question. So let's look at it. So a lot of time, what happens is that enterprises find it struggling with their data and data being exposed. Okay? Because data is gold, as everyone says. Your data, your contextual knowledge, your information that you have learned over a period of time, accumulated some information, is it's what makes your business a business, right? Uh, you want to keep it secure. Fine, we have all cloud providers has very secure environment. It's not a lot question on that. But what if your learning is not? You are starting and you want to do things on your laptop. Your team want to do certain things that they don't know this technology yet. And then what? After all, you are sending things to internet. So there is chance of leakage. Okay, the more outside you send, the more chances are there. So that's one big concern. In fact, if you see a lot of organizations are using AI solutions majorly into customer support and those kind of conversations, which is not that sensitive. They do not put AI into their core businesses, not yet. Okay. Then there's this connecting to the previous point on ability to send outside data. Sorry, risks during sending data outside. It's also about being independent. At least during POC, you don't know what you are experimenting, what kind of challenges you will face. Uh, Enough the programmers would know that whenever they work on certain programs, they like to have their own IDE where they can do things locally without really getting into the environment. And it is not just for programmers. Think of you, the business managers. If you have, let's say, OneDrive or Google Drive, you like to work on PPT on your own local setup. It has its benefit. It makes things better. You want to do things more in your own space. So you need that space where you can make mistake, the space where you can build things without having any external dependencies. Uh, then the cost. You might have heard the horror stories. At least the guys in tech, they must have heard the horror story that hey, the cost gone higher because something was running, kept running. I did. I was reading another day a story that for a few hours someone left their a POC running and it went into thousands of dollars. The bill because everything is chargeable. There's a lot of infrastructure. There's a lot of things involved when you are connecting to cloud. You are sending data, receiving data. There's many parties in between. Okay, if you make a mistake, or even if you don't make a mistake, you did it right. But if your workload requires a lot of data exchanges, then it costs. But if you have your own machine in your own setup, it does not cost. So you can do as many as inferences that you want. Then the transparency and consistency. And this is also interesting one, especially in the space of AI. Okay. While it's a topic very interesting everywhere, but in the case of AI, even more. So I'll explain with an example. So sometime back, I built a solution, a very nicely working solution using OpenAI model. And I went into a demo very proud. And when I started running, it did not run. What went wrong? If you see these platforms, uh, they are not just model. There's multiple layers on top of model. There's a lot of things that happen when you send something that hey, explain me XYZ. It's not just that XYZ question goes to the model. There's a lot of things happen in between. They are evolving because there's a rapid change happening in this space. And at the same time, model is also evolving. So there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. And the last thing that any enterprise want is that their experience to be changing for customers. I do not want my customers who is using a website that today they are getting a little bit different answer and tomorrow they are getting a different answer. Will you like it? I don't think any one of you will like it. So I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I'm saying that there's more technology involved, more challenges involved in doing that. Okay. So that's the part with consistency and transparency, because there are many layers. Then you do not know what's happening in all the layers of the application. All that you know is an API that, hey, this is the thing. So moving on, I got a question based on the insights that I shared. If you have to ask, if you have to answer the biggest reasons to try local AI, what will be your answer? Privacy, cost savings, first for learning and control, so you can learn easier. A hard sign if you want to work offline, and you think it's all of the above. Very curious to hear from you. You can react through the chat. Nice. Wonderful. So I see a lot of hearts and also a lot of rockets. So that's nice. Great. So indeed, it's all of the above. While for certain people, one of these matter more, but it's all of the above are the key factors. Uh, with that, let's move forward. So we understood what could be the situations why we want a model to be in-house for certain cases. Okay. Uh, then how to do that? How do we get the model? There's a lot of it we used to hear until some time back, billions of dollars and whatnot, that the model is being built with all kind of money put into it, a lot of complexity. Then how do we get it? Is it that simple? The answer is yes. It's very, very, very simple. I'll explain you. Uh, the AI landscape is going through radical changes, and this is the moment to get these things started for you. Make use of it. Ollama. Ollama is a gateway to large language models, and large language model is a category for the starters. Is the category of model that we use for all kind of discussion. So ChatGPT and all other Grok and all other models that you use, they are powered by large language model. Okay. So Ollama is the major provider and the simplest one uh, to get that model locally on your machine. And how to do that? Um, I'll walk you through. Don't get afraid with this picture. May look like that I'm talking about software development and all those things. It's not. It's just to give that those software guys a kick who are in this call watching this session. Um, and uh, and basically tries to show that the way we used to package software in smaller containers within the laptop, that's the similar analogy of deploying model with Ollama. Yeah. So it packages the model with all kind of complexity. So you don't need to see all the complexities. Model comes, you have very simple few seconds walk, and the model is with you. Let's go through it. Okay. This is a question which is very relevant. You might be thinking, oh, why all of a sudden you are asking my laptop memory? And the thing is, these models are very power hungry, and think of these model as your brain. And as soon as this brain is sitting inside your laptop, then the brain needs power, and that power is RAM, processor, mostly RAM now. I'm putting in the question. So curious to hear what kind of laptop most of you have, because that will help me showcase the models later on that are better fit for the setup. Is it 8 GB for thumbs up, 16 GB thumbs down, 32 GB plus fire symbol? And if you're not sure, that's okay. Okay, so I see a lot of people with 16 GB and plus. That's a good thing. Now the laptops are coming up much more stronger. So that's a good thing. Let's get started. A lot of talking, and we promised to show you how things work. And now we are reaching to that point where we're gonna show how things work. So to get Ollama, how simple it is. It is really this simple, as it shows in the in this diagram. Let me take you through the process very quickly. So we go here. Yes. So if you go to ollama.com download, all that you need to do is download for macOS. It will take few seconds and the software will be on your laptop. I do not want to do that again because I did yesterday. I do not want to do it. May take a few seconds of time, so I'll skip through. But all that you need to do is download for macOS. Okay, or if you have Windows, then download for Windows. Get it installed. You get the model with you. The next step is so what? Does that bring the models along, or what is it? How to make use of it? So let's have a look. What comes with you? Okay, and let me first show you something else. Okay, so as soon as you get Ollama, okay, Ollama is your user interface where you can and a CLI. So basically, you can interact with it. But the model is something different. Model you need to bring separately. So here we got Ollama, the client, the software. Then under the hood, we need to now bring model. The question is, which model do we bring it? Then you can see the models here. Okay. And the list that you see is an interesting list. The first one you see GPT OSS. It is the name of Chat GPT model that is open source. So it's basically Chat GPT in little bit smaller size. Okay, that's the model it is. So then the next question is, how do I get this model? Okay, how do I get this model attached to my Ollama? So the way to do it is like this. You get to your machine, let's say, and as soon as you install that software which we showed earlier, you will start seeing command Ollama. And those who are non-technical, don't worry. There's really nothing more than this as the code looking thing. This is the only bit where you see a little bit of a step which may look like a developer thingy, but it's actually not. Okay. All that it tries to show that this Ollama thing got installed, okay, within your terminal. Okay. And then Ollama also comes with a user interface. And this is the user interface you get. Okay. It's very simplistic. It feels as if it's nothing, right? This you see basically there's some chats. Hi, hi, hi. I put that sometime back. And nothing else. Okay. And here there's a drop down which shows all the models that are available. Now, you may think that all these models are available in the sense available on the cloud, uh, but that's not the case. I have got a lot of those already in the system. So because these models are very heavy, and I'll show you how heavy. Okay, so let's go through it. Ollama list is a way to see which all models do we have. And here, if you see, these are the list of models that I've got on my laptop. Okay, and you see GPT OSS that I got 5 hours back, Kema 3, which is from Google, that is 9 hours back, and so on. Okay, and you see the sizes, they are 13 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes for Lava. Okay, Kema 3 from Google is 17 gigabytes. So they are huge files, and it takes time to get them installed. And that is why I brought them already onto the system so that we don't download it during this session. But then the most important question is, fine, we understand that there are model, we understand that there are client, but how do I choose which model? Because here, if we see in the model, there's numerous models present there. It's actually in thousands. So how do we get the model? How do we figure it out? So I would say go with OpenAI or the Meta or the Google model. Those three are really nice. The GPT OSS is OpenAI, so basically ChatGPT on your laptop. Kema 3 is basically Google on your laptop. And there will be somewhere Llama is basically Facebook's model on your laptop. Okay. So choose one of them. And then if you choose GPT OSS, for instance, then you go inside. What do you see? You see a list of multiple different configurations. Okay. This is an important information. And the only thing that matters to you is this 20 billion 120B. This is important for you to be mindful of. Because if you take this 20B model, which is of size 14 gigabytes, and this is the one I was showing earlier that I have got here, GPT OSS, this is the one that I have downloaded, that's 13 gigabytes. This already takes a RAM of 16 GB. You need your laptop to be 16 GB or more RAM to be able to use this model. Yeah. So be mindful. If your laptop has 8 gigabytes, I know some of you gave a thumbs for 8 gigabytes, then go with even a smaller models. Don't download GPT OSS. In that situation, because GPT OSS, the smallest size is 20 billion parameters, and that requires 16 GB. What you can do is download Google's model, that is Kema 3, and you see 1 billion, 4 billion, 12 billion, 27 billion. And if some of you are wondering what does this billion mean, I will not go into technical terms, but just understand that this is the size of the parameters that is used for building the model. Okay. So the bigger the size, the more complex the model is, more smarter the model is. Okay. Uh, so that's how it is. So I would suggest if you have got 8 gigabytes as RAM, then go with 4 billion ones. If your laptop is 16 GB or so, then go with 8 billion or 12 billion parameters are okay. And if you are having 32 GB RAM, then you can go for 27 billion one, which is very, very, very strong model. Believe me, I'll show you as we go along. It's very strong model. Okay. And it can do majority of the tasks that you want to do. Okay. With no ado, let's have a look how does Ollama then works. Okay. So I've got model. on my laptop, I got a UI. How do I see and how do I interact? Okay, so there's two ways. The last thing we do here on this this green screen, which many of you may not like. So I choose one of the model. Let's say Ollama run GPT OSS, which is the Chat GPT model in your laptop, and it may take few seconds because it's the first time I'm running this model. Then it came, okay, and I can say hi, and I get a response back. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, I'll not go into much of more things. What it does, if I wanna know the details about this model, then I can do here also Ollama show. And in interest of time, I'm not showing a lot of these details. Later on, we're gonna see more prompts and how it works. But here, when I said that Ollama show GPT OSS latest, okay. So here is interesting. What I did, I put a command in at the place where it was expecting me to provide ask a question, because it is now in assistant mode, and I put the command. I was ignorant in doing so. So I did that. Okay. Now I'll go out, and if I put the same command here, very quickly, then you see information about this model, that what model it is, how many parameters this model has, which says 20.9 billion. This information is very important for you. 131K. What it means is that the amount of data you can send to this model. Okay. This, and it literally means about 130 pages of text. Okay. The easiest way to translate it, and as many K, that many number of pages of text. That much data you can send it to the model.
Prabhat,
Yes.
fantastic. Going really nice, Prabhat. Just to check, users are requesting while showing terminal, if you can zoom a bit so they can get more better view.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we have few questions, Prabhat, in the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can I take them up?
Yes, let's do that. Some of the questions.
All right. I think one of the question was infrastructure requirements. So you have, I think, explained really well that you need a good amount of RAM for better performance
Mm-hmm.
and storage space requirement. The next question was from Rajan. Are these tools free to use?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. So this whole story, I'll take the second one, because I think first one we answered, right. The sizing one is there with this. The model spec talks about size already. So if the model says 14 gigabytes, then you need 14 gigabytes to host the model. And for Ollama, it's few hundred megabytes. So in that terms, uh, sizing is nowadays not really a big concern. The concern is more on the RAM and processor size. So that one is more important. So if you want to run any model that is beyond 7B, which is 7 billion, it means then you need to have at least 16 gigabytes of RAM on your laptop. Otherwise, if you don't have that 16 gigabytes, then try the 4B, 3B kind of models. That's the answer for first question. And the second one, everything that you see on Ollama is open source. So all these models are open source. Ollama itself is open source. So you need not to pay a single euro or rupee to get these softwares models on your laptop.
Thanks, Prabhat. This is a really good insight. Please proceed.
Yeah. I'm not able to find how to do a better zoom, but I'll see maybe here. Can I do something?
Especially the terminal when you're showing your
Yeah,
video.
when I do terminal, I will try to zoom in.
Thanks.
Um,
Rest
yeah.
is good.
Okay. So in fact, we are done with terminal. We'll not be going to terminal anymore. Okay. As the downloading is very simple, you can interact with terminal just to do some few stuff, checking about the model and these things. But very, very, very recently, this was a huge demand for a lot of people that Ollama was only terminal. Ollama did not have any user interface. But on huge demand, Ollama has finally come up with a GUI as well. And this is the GUI which I was showing you earlier. Okay. So basically, you get here and you start chatting exactly the same way, the way I was discussing earlier. This time, to give you an example, we can look at, let's say, Google's model, Google's Kema 312B. So every Google open source model is named Kema 3. It's basically the Gemini model that they call it in the paid ones. It's the same model, open source. Yeah. So here, if I say, hi, how are you? Yeah. And now this time we get response from uh, a different model. Okay, this is the Kema 312B. And I'll show you something really fun because I was telling earlier that when you work with ChatGPT or when you work with any of those providers, you have many layers and many things are happening beyond the model. Okay. Uh, which you can see if you are working with on these local models. For example, let's say we are trying to say, what is the weather today? Okay. And see what comes up. Okay. It comes up that, hey, I need a location for to tell you the weather, which makes sense. Let's say I say that it's Amsterdam. Okay. What do I get? It's very interesting. Cloudy, 14 degree, 12 degree, and all. Uh, but it's so fascinating to see this. Perhaps for the starters, it's important to note that this thing is not connected to internet. And in case of Kema 3, it gave us so confidently this number, but this number is just based on guessing. Yeah. This is not the real information, and I'll show you again later on that this information is the classic case of hallucination. Some of the models will clearly tell you that they are not having the capabilities, but this model did, which is kind of a gap in this model. Okay, so with that, we go back to our original presentation and we look at one of the question. Uh, I see some questions popping up. Manish, do we want to pick up one or two questions?
Sure, Prabhat. I'll take these questions. One of the questions is, will these recordings will be available? Certainly, yes. After the session, we will share the recording. Also, please feel free to join our WhatsApp group for future updates. Another question from Rajan: do they all support the same AI models? And when is the Chat GPT or other cloud tools more appropriate?
Wonderful. I love especially the second one. Uh, but let's go through first one. Do they all support the same AI model? So indeed, this is all these solutions that I'm going to present today are open source and they support all open source models. So the answer is yes. For the second one, That's very interesting because this question comes that, hey, ChatGPT is very smart, Gemini is very smart. Why do I get a relatively low performing model? Okay. And that's a strong question. Uh, the thing is, for your personal productivity, when you are just brainstorming or thinking something completely outside of your scope, then ChatGPT is much more better, or those kind of models, because they are connected to internet and they have a lot more intelligence built. But in majority of the work which you do, a practical work, you don't really need uh, the know it all model. Okay, you don't really need to be connected to internet. So that's the major consideration you shall have. So if I put it in one line, for personal productivity, go for ChatGPT. For your professional things, or for building something, a real application, or something that you are doing brainstorming within a fixed space, or you are trying to have your own documents, secret documents, confidential documents to be used, use these models. Then let's go through one question which I had for the users. uh, when you choose a model, because I said earlier that certain models could be speed. In fact, right now I was talking about it, that some of them has high speed, some of them has high capabilities, like ChatGPT versus these models are highest in speed. You, because they are local, you can ask and get the answer. Or the balanced one, or whatever runs on my laptop. So what will be your choice? Do you want to have fastest running models, or with the maximum capability? Nice. Okay. So with that, let's move on. Uh, the next step was demo for installing and running an LLM, which we covered kind of. I showed you how you can get a model, and it's very simple. All that you need to do is get Ollama installed and run a single command like these. Okay? Ollama run GPT OSS. That's it. You go to your terminal. Once you have Ollama installed, then you run this command. That's it. Your model will be there. You will be able to talk to it. Okay? Ollama run GPT OSS. That's it. Uh, Second one, how to create your own custom LLM. So sometimes what happens, these names could be messy. For example, when I search the GPT OSS, it may sound like what it's so techy. And I'm sorry, I cannot zoom. I'll try if I can somehow. Oh, yeah, looks like I can. Yeah, I can do it. But if you wanna make it something nicer, these names, then it's very simple to do that. Let's say you do something like this. I want to turn this GPT OSS at chat GPT local. Okay. Uh, Now this name differently. So the 20B I get rid of. So now if I do, I will see chat GPT local. Basically, it copied the same model, so that makes it easier to use. But it's not just that. If you you may see that, oh, you just renamed it. So is it really creating a new model? No, I understand. It's not creating a new model, but there's more that you can do. You can actually create a version of this model with some specific persona. Let's take one simple example. And for example, I go here and I say that, hey, this is I want to use this model, this specific GPT OSS model, and here I need to make a change. Sorry. And basically, I want to turn this model into a spatial model that's pretty much similar with all the behaviors of GPT OSS, but one extra trait that it will work as in an specialized assistant for AI for all. So I gave some system instruction, and that's how I will turn this model a bit specialized. So first I gave the command, and those who understand that this is a file which is capturing the guidance for the command. And I know I told you earlier I'll not show green screen, but I came to green screen. I'm sorry, I have habit too. So I'll cover very quickly and move forward. Okay. So then I did what? I basically created a file wherein I said that, hey, in this file, I'm giving a special guidance to change this model to work exclusive for AI for all. And then with that file, providing that file as input, I said that I create a new model called AI for all local. Now, if I do Ollama list, I will see this AI for all local. And if I speak to this model, let's say Ollama run here, then this model will have persona specialized assistant. So it will talk a little bit differently, and it will also give me more contextual information. Okay. So for example, it says that, hey, I am AI for all local, your friendly on-device helper. I'm here to explain AI in plain language, guide you through new tools, and so on. Okay. So that's how you can have a variation of models for your purpose. Okay. Uh, and do the things. There's another thing that Ollama brings is you can use Ollama to connect your applications. So those people who build apps, they require often an API through which they can connect Ollama, and Ollama by default provide an API that you can just hook in and make use of it. In interest of time, I will conclude with Ollama. Perhaps in subsequent sections, we'll also cover how to do Ollama with APIs and connect with certain apps, LangChain, and so on. But we'll keep it limited in this session for Ollama, and we'll move on to much more non-technical, non-coders space, and my favorite, that's Msty. How are we doing on time front, Manish?
Yeah, we have only 10 minutes left, Prabhat. So
Okay.
also
So
one question
yeah,
came into the chat. Can we connect Ollama to internet?
to the last time I did is not, but this space is changing so rapidly. And today I got Ollama installed. And actually, when I asked for the weather and it responded, I was a bit surprised seeing that response. I was not expecting it to respond, but it did responded. Ideally, in typical setup, it does not. Because Ollama is completely within your laptop. It does not provide you possibility to connect to internet. Misty does.
Which it does. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Let's learn about it.
Let's do very quickly on Misty,
Yes.
and then we'll in subsequent sessions we will expand more on Misty later on. Okay.
Super.
Okay, so Misty is something that is really for non-coders, the people, the managers, the financial experts, people like us who want to do. Let's say I got my financial statements or certain things for my personal business ideas where I want to do certain things. There, it helps me a lot, and I'll show you how. Okay, because you don't need any command line, so no more green screen. You can still make use of the Ollama models behind the scenes. So you don't need to download the model. It's still the same model that we downloaded from here. Okay. But we don't need green screen. We do everything through a very nice user interface. We can also have our own knowledge stack, and we can run, will run completely local, and we can also have reports on how efficient the model is running. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, rather than looking into all these things, I will directly show you how does Msty look like and how it operates. Okay. And there's two very beautiful features that I really love, and I'll share about it. I hope this is visible, and to remove the clutter, I just minimize other things. Okay. So here is Msty user interface. It's very simplistic, as you could see. And then what it shows, it has the list of models that we have on our system through Ollama. Automatically it shows up. So I did not require to do anything. All the models that we did through Ollama are visible here. That's one. Another beautiful thing is model option. So we did not get into it in Ollama for some other time. There's these very important factors, but we'll discuss about it in some deep dives. Not very relevant for the starters. Then there's this interesting button that you were asking, Manish, on real time or not. Sorry, internet or not. So if I use this button, then I go live. So it gets information from internet. Otherwise, it works completely on local. Okay. And then the second one is quick prompt. So it also comes with some of the ready-made prompts on like note-taking assistant, these kind of things. It comes up with to make your journey easier. Then another very interesting feature is knowledge assistant. So basically you can upload your own document. For example, I uploaded a green code initiative policy brief 2025. So if I upload something like this, then I can converse with such a document or list of documents. It didn't have to be one document. It can be many. And I can build my own database as such, and I can do the conversation. That's the beauty of it. And yet another very nice feature, which I use so often, and that is split chat. Okay? And how it is interesting is that for the same question, you can see how different models behave. For example, Llama, this is the model with Facebook. And let's say for I choose in this window, I choose Kema 3, that's the model from Google. And this one is 12 billion. And what I'm gonna do here, I choose, let's say, a bigger model. And let's say I choose GPT OSS, that the Chat GPT ones. Okay. And I choose three of these models, and I ask again, here, how is the weather in Amsterdam today? Okay. And this is simplistic because we had some problem earlier, so I'm trying to ask here. But you will see 2-3 things. I'll show you. The first thing you will observe that this model started answering very quickly. Okay. And then followed by these this 12 billion parameter model. And the third thing will come, it's still waiting for its first response. Okay. Uh, so then the third one is coming. It's still waiting. What it says is that the smaller the model, the faster the loading time. Because I asked the question, that model did not take a lot of memory or power, so it got started very quickly. The second one is it took a little bit longer, and third one is still doing something. Okay. It's also important to see that Google was very clear in saying that essentially it's a typical spring day. in Amsterdam, a bit unpredictable. So, and here on the first line, it says that, okay, here's the weather forecast for Amsterdam today. And it put May 5th, 2024. So if you want to ask questions that are really for today, okay, for current information, then this is not right. Okay, this is not the right way to ask, because these models are not connected to internet. They have older knowledge base. Okay, but it's very handy if you have any other brainstorming which did not require to be connected to today's information, and also for comparative setup. Okay. And let's see the same question, and we'll take a pause because we do not have much time. And we'll take this forward, the Msty and some other information that we wanted to share in subsequent session. We'll ask one more time, this time with internet open, and see what comes up. Why did this not respond? Perhaps because we renamed that model earlier on the command prompt, so it's finding some difficulty. But here it is. Now it's looking at internet. It's smart enough that it did not started just answering. It recognized that, hey, this information require current date. So it's both of these are now going to internet to find that information, and then they will get back to it. Yeah. With that, let's keep last 2 minutes for getting any feedback or any questions, or concluding this session. Manish, over to you.
Thank you, Prabhat. Really insightful session. I think we learned a lot here. Looking at chat, uh, we all learning really nice fundamentals. I don't see a new question, but let me ask in the group. Yeah, a WhatsApp group update. Yes, we will share. What we are gonna do is that we are gonna put a short Q&A and feedback
Yeah.
session. Yeah. So over to you, Prabhat, and then I'll put the.
Yes. I see a message from, can I choose which models to compare in Misty? Yes, you can. You can choose within there, and to the previous question on WhatsApp. Indeed, we will share this information, and we'll also keep sharing all the live sessions that we're gonna have in coming days. I request you to please follow our LinkedIn or YouTube channel, and that's also a good way to get latest information from us. With that, shall we conclude?
Yeah, I'm good. It's really